he say don't talk or don't move?
Don't breathe.
You shouldn't start it because he's not recording it.
That's a good point. Hello and welcome to another live taping of the Was It Good podcast. All three of us are here in this new setup that we built.
God.
It's been years.
It has been 7 seconds since you looked at me. That's not how it goes.
That's not how the song works, you fucking weirdo.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
I can see though why you were confused with the 7 and the week and seconds and days because time is a human construct.
Yeah, so real quick, I started working back to work, and I thought that would help me remember what day of the week it is, and it's made it worse somehow.
By singing the tune, it's been 7 days since you looked at me?
No. Since I started back at work, I thought just working would help me realize know what day it is.
It's because you don't work a traditional schedule either, and also I feel like your schedule varies.
Don't defend.
Also, the other thing too is it's Olympics, and where everyone's working on upside down schedule, like we're in Australia.
Yeah.
I'm in Australia.
Thank you.
Oh,
Sahara.
hi, it's Omega.
I know Mika.
Thank you, Sahara. We appreciate that.
Mr. Limmer, are we
myself.
recording?
No, not yet. Just a second. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Hurry up!
Oh my god. Oh man, we gotta cut his pay.
Okay. All right.
All right. We're not paying him this week.
Yeah, clearly. He's not eating.
He's not eating?
Yeah, he's not eating. Real quick for those in the chat, we are discussing a bunch of different things, but be sure to jump in with questions,
Kind of doing like a catch-up episode.
comments, and no concerns.
God, you hate concerns.
I really do.
What if they have a concern though about Ted Lasso?
I have a concern about Ted Lasso, but we'll get there.
That his name is Ted.
No.
Not Teddy.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, here we go. And this beautiful intro, again, brought to you by Krishna, the premier choice when looking for a bald person.
Why'd you look at your arm when you said that? Did you have notes written down there?
On my arm.
He's got like a cheat sheet on his
Yeah,
arm.
it says be sure to mention sponsor, Krishna's bald head.
Wow, I wish my head had that kind of money.
Can we get like a head shine?
Could we get like a
Sponsor for
tattoo on your head that says "Was it good"?
Mr. Clean. We should get Mr. Clean.
That'd be cool. Anyway, here we go. Hello and welcome to Was It Good? Today we're talking Star Wars Bad Batch and Ted Lasso, and there's a wee bit of news including our impressions on the new Venom Let There Be Carnage trailer. Exciting stuff, I know. Quick introductions, I'm Ravi, and I'm here with Christian and Arjuna, a.k.a. my brothers, and the fourth Ramgo pal sits in the producer's chair, and his name is Mr. Michael. Let's kick it off with a question, and the question I have for you two, what have you been doing to fill the void that was created on Wednesdays by Loki?
Wow.
Going to bed on time.
That's a good one.
Not staying up, trying to get more rest.
Reducing your eye
It's
circles.
not happening. It's still,
Again,
rest
it is
is
Olympic
evasive.
time as well,
Yeah,
so...
for sure.
Actually, you know what I've been doing on Wednesdays? A lot of Gold Cup matches have been played, and Gold Cup is the North American international soccer tournament, and a few of those matches were played on Wednesday. So that's how I've replaced Loki with soccer.
Nice. Well, good news. There is a Marvel thing coming eventually called What If. I don't know if it's going to be on Wednesdays or not. Do we know? Actually, do we know what day it's coming out?
It's Wednesdays.
It is. Okay, there you go. So your Wednesday void will be fixed shortly.
Oh, good. I have a show for Wasted Wednesday.
Wasted Wednesdays.
Yes.
Are you in college? Anyway,
Shots.
we're not
It's
talking.
August 11th, so it's next Wednesday.
Is it next Wednesday?
Yeah, August 11th is the
August 11th is also 1 week before something. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I can't either. Let's just move
I
on.
believe it is what they call the center of the universe, a fixed point in time.
For you,
Space.
perhaps.
A Nexus event that should never have
An
happened.
event.
I hope my parents aren't
I'm
watching.
telling mom.
I'm telling mom. Yes, Arjuna's birthday is in 2 weeks. Be sure to send gifts to Arjuna. His Twitter handle is at
Arjuna Amgopal.
There you go. Make
you
sure you
verified,
send him
Gina?
wishes.
Are you?
4, 5.
At Squish Life _life with a Y.
Oh, you got it down almost. You mangled it a little bit.
Anyway, let's get into the actual bulk of what we're talking, and that is Ted Lasso and Venom are basically one and the same.
Huh?
That is my hot take.
Lovable losers?
No. Giant. And I'm talking specifically Ted Lasso season 2. We have only there's only been 2 episodes, but I always like to pass judgment early on television shows.
Of course.
Recklessly.
We call you Ravi the Rover Reactor Ramgopal.
There
Overactor.
Rover
Overactor.
Rover actor.
Overacting
Overactor.
And we have 2 episodes, and we also have the second trailer of Venom, There Be Carnage came out today. And I can safely say that both are gigantic piles of doo-doo.
Well, maybe a better way to put it is they both seem like kind of just like perfectly average.
Insanely average.
Like
insanely average.
I guess I'll start with the trailer, right?
Yeah, start with
it was
Venom.
Like, it feels like a perfect continuation of the first Venom movie. Which was a perfectly average movie. There wasn't anything really to it. I enjoyed it a little bit because it was this like kind of comical take with Venom, and besides the fact they're making him like a pseudo hero, which might grind some people's gears, mine.
It does.
Yeah, remember we had this discussion too with the first movie. Have they gone all in on horror? Made it like really horror. Should have made it rated R. It would have been, there might have been more potential there.
You mean like what they did with the original Venom movie or the first Venom movie? The trailers were a lot more horrific and scary.
If it was more scary,
it was more like it looked like it. They made it out to seem like it was going to be a horror, like that initial trailer that came out, and then the actual movie itself was this kind of
more comedy,
goofy comedy. Yeah. This new trailer, where you got to see a lot more of Carnage, played by Woody Harrelson, it definitely does look creepy. Carnage is a creepy thing.
I have the look where is the little literal tentacle, like the
spikes,
like
spider
appendages.
Yeah, and that looked creepy.
Which reminds me of for our video game connoisseurs out there, the Nintendo 64 Spider-Man final boss is the Doc Ock Carnage.
Oh,
that's what that gave me allusions to. But I think Christian said before the pod that's actually a comic look, a comic accurate variation of him.
Yeah, he can like pull out like other limbs.
Yeah, do you remember the 1990s Spider-Man animated?
Yes.
He had a similar ability in that.
Did he like make an axe with his hand?
Yeah,
in that
I've
cartoon?
seen that before.
Yeah.
And then they would repeat the same explosions.
Yeah.
The same animation over and over again.
You gotta love 90s animation and how much they cut corners.
I guess the one difference between the Carnage trailer and Ted Lasso is that if the Carnage trailer looks like a perfect continuation of the first movie of Venom, season 2 of Ted Lasso has been anything but a continuation of season 1. And that's what I'm saying. It is a continuation, but it feels so far in these first 2 episodes like, at least to me, a very different show.
Because it's a different time of season.
Yes. Is it?
Well, I assume it started snowing in the second episode. So it's like, maybe it's winter. Maybe it's fall, winter, and the other time.
Where did they?
Spring,
I mean,
summer?
they're in their season, so
the beginning of their season,
right? But isn't that when the first season picked up? Was the beginning of their season, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So it's the same.
But this
season.
time it snows.
Yeah, so
This time it's
sunny.
personal.
It was very sunny in the first season.
But maybe that's part of the whole thing. Maybe it's a darker tone. Maybe they're doing the opposite of Venom, right? So the first Venom trailer in the first Venom movie was all dark and gritty, and then they eventually were like, we're just happy and rainbow and sunshines. And Ted Lasso, the first season, they just pretended to be happy, but they're like, we're really a dark, cynical, gritty drama. Maybe that's what it is.
What did you watch exactly? Did you get confused on Apple TV and you thought, what is it, Servant, that M. Night Shyamalan Apple TV show was Ted Lasso?
Still haven't watched that.
Don't bother. It's very stupid.
I thought you liked the first season.
I like the first season and the first episode, and then that's about it.
It goes downhill quickly after that.
And
You're
it keeps
saying
going downhill.
Rupert Grint doesn't hold it up for everybody
He has a drinking problem.
in real life.
So I don't think he has a. I don't know about his personal life, so I'm not going to comment on that.
Oh man.
Anyone have any like positive things to
Ted
say
Lasso?
about Carnage?
For Venom.
Venom. Venom.
Oh, still on Carnage.
I mean,
No.
I think I said this when we saw the first movie, and even the second movie. The symbiote versus symbiote stuff. It's like cool. We got that in the first one with Riz Ahmed's character. I forget what the symbiote's name was in the first one.
Bigger symbiote.
Bigger,
Venom
badder,
2.
cooler symbiote.
Yep. White symbiote.
That stuff just.
Well, no, the symbiote was white. I'm not making a thing. I'm just saying the color of the symbiote was white. Fuck you all.
But that stuff, like, oh, cool, more CGI monsters versus monsters. Like, it wasn't the strength of the movie. The strength of the movie, and I think what was somewhat interesting was just like Tom Hardy's portrayal of this loser with another loser, and it's kind of like this relationship drama. They should just lean all the way into that of like
They should do more of that.
going into the everyday life, and the central conflict should be his ex-girlfriend now being married and him trying to break up the wedding.
It's like
and it's
a rom-com.
Yeah, that's exactly
The
what it should
trailer makes it seem like that's what at least half the movie will be.
That should be the central plot. That should be the entire plot.
Maybe it will be.
That'd be great.
Yeah. And Carnage is just this side piece.
And it's Let There Be Carnage because he's going to unleash carnage at the wedding.
Oh, there. You
How
know,
I
we
Met
could
Your
still.
Venom.
I mean, it's just a trailer, so we don't know everything.
Yeah,
Granted, it does feel like the trailer showed literally everything. I'm hoping there is a new Eminem.
I was
Oh,
going to say,
yes. Song?
Will Eminem do another song?
I really hope so because that was the only highlight of the first film.
Was it a highlight?
Yes, because it was weird and stupid,
Oh man.
and it's very catchy.
Venom.
Venom.
Oh, man. Get all Eminem just mailing that one in.
Also, Woody Harrelson is wearing a toupee. That's hilarious. Or they dyed his hair. I don't know. One of the
Or
two.
both. Maybe he...
Wait, Woody Harrelson doesn't have hair? Since when?
I think he's been balding for a long time.
yeah.
This is breaking news.
Post Cheers.
Oh, I forget he was in Cheers.
Do you remember
He was
season?
like young in Cheers.
Remember season 1 of True Detective
Yes.
when
That's a wig, right?
the first the early timeline. It's the worst toupee on television I've ever seen.
On Woody Harrelson?
It's pretty bad. Yeah. Great, amazing show.
It's not a toupee. It would be a wig, right?
Yeah.
Follow-up
Yeah,
question. What's the
yeah.
difference between a toupee and a
Toupee
wig?
is a piece normally. So, like, I think a toupee is like if you're kind of like
Balding?
our dad, right?
Mhm.
Before he started shaving his head, he had the hair on the sides and the back.
Oh,
But he
I
had no
see.
hair on the top. So a toupee is like you put the
It would go...
if you're thinning on the top, you put like another piece on to make it look like you have a full
See,
head of
you
hair.
learn something new every day.
And then a wig, I think, is just a full-on different
piece of hair.
Yeah.
Like a
And then
full-
extensions would just be things that are extended in your actual hair.
Yeah,
I was thinking about getting extensions for the middle so I
Please
can
don't.
really get the Aaron Yeager thing down quicker.
So you just want to
just
be
wait
a
another
Titan.
few months. You'll
That's
be
true.
there.
That's true.
and maybe the show will too.
Nope. Do you know, real quick, I know we're all over the place here. Attack on Titan, obviously, the final
Great
season.
show.
The season, was it season 4, the second half, doesn't air until sometime in
Winter
Winter
2022, which we
2020.
said
could be January.
January.
But do you know how hard it is to not run into spoilers from the manga on the
Extremely
internet?
hard.
You could just block Attack on
Very,
Titan,
no,
or
I,
never look it up.
no. I almost saw a spoiler today.
I know how it ends.
Well, we're waiting.
They forgot to write an ending, so it doesn't end. Keeps going.
No, they reached out to George R.R. Martin and the two other dingleberries that made the Game of Thrones for HBO and asked them their opinion.
So Flock comes in, and he's the true hero.
And then everything else that they've been building up, everything about the walls and all that other, they just forget about it.
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
It was all a dream.
All right, speaking of things that don't matter, Ted Lasso. So we've got obviously episodes 1 and 2. The show is dropping, midnight on Thursdays into Fridays. It isn't something. I mean, the first episode, I think there was a lot of hype and build up.
Yes.
Kind of fell flat on his face. Didn't really feel Ted Lasso-y. It was a lot of kind of catch-up.
Yeah.
Or ketchup, depending on your pronunciation.
Yes, catch up.
Ketchup. And then episode 2 definitely felt more, I would say, we're getting back into like the Ted Lasso. We're also figuring out, who is the antagonist, what is the conflict, that type of fun stuff. What do you guys think? Are you enjoying this, what feels like a complete change from season 1 to season 2? Are you noticing the big, glaring, I won't say issues, but the fun production things that we're seeing where this show was obviously shot during the peak of COVID where production was shut down.
Yeah.
I think, Krisha, you, me, and Learman were watching it, and we noticed the entire bar sequence is very
Green
green screen heavy.
Didn't realize it till the second time.
The second
I was like-
time, yeah.
It blew my mind, actually. I was like, wow, this looks so weird.
Very, very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, the pandemic's been tough, and, like, you have to figure out ways around certain things. And I think it's definitely noticeable. And I guess my question is, the thing that I noticed the most was just, like, the darker look, right? The cinematography is a little different. the first, I think we said it earlier, like the first series, everything was sunny and there was a brighter tone and colors were brighter. And this season, it's felt more muted, darker, and like, is that intentional or is it just like a rush production?
No, I think you have to also look at what came out between season 1 and season 2 of Ted Lasso. A really big, long ass film dropped.
Snyder Cut?
Exactly. And I think what the Snyder Cut did was it made cinematographers and color correctionists and artists, and VFX people look at it and go, I think the darker, moody look is better. So I think that's what happened.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah, it feels wrong.
It doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
My gut says no.
Real quick, if it does happen, like when Ted Lasso finishes up, or during the season, somebody on the production side does come out and say this, you both owe me $1. No, you both owe me a McChicken sandwich.
Oh, done.
That I get to claim at any time. At any time, yeah. There we go.
It expires after 30 seconds.
No.
Yep.
Or of me being right?
Yep. You have 30 seconds
to call you and be like, hey, this guy just said.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
No, I guess I hope, like, because these first 2 episodes, it seems like they're going for this darker tone, right? A little bit more, not everything is sunshine and rainbows. That's why they've brought in the psychiatrist or psychologist, right?
Psychologist, because a psychiatrist actually gives you pills. A psychologist does not.
Yeah, they're just analyzing. Right? So the psychologist coming in, seems to be helping with that.
On her electric scooter.
It seems to, the world is quote unquote, it seems like, or at least they're trying to make the world open up, focusing on different characters. It even felt like in the first episode, Ted didn't have the most screen time. Like, it felt like Roy got a lot of screen time. Keeley got
Roy fucking Kent.
Roy fucking Kent, yeah. Still one of my favorite parts of the show.
I think he is these first 2 episodes, he is the best part of the show right now. Like, he is the most interesting and more fun when he's on screen.
Yeah. I mean, his part where he's on, like, the Sports Center equivalent of whatever they're doing is hilarious.
It's great.
Also, having worked in TV, that would never, like, his first time would not be a live thing. He would come in and do like rehearsals and screen tests.
Remember,
it's hilarious.
He did the other thing where he was crying, so that was his screen test.
That was a press conference, though.
That was enough.
When you join a studio show, they don't just bring you on and like, all right, you're live, we're throwing you.
Yeah, but Arjuna, it's Roy fucking Kent.
I know.
It's also a television show.
I know.
So they should know better.
Arjuna, maybe they do things different in England.
Yeah. Wow. Mr. America's the center of the world over here.
Yeah.
Just say they wouldn't do that.
Just to go off of what you were saying, I think the biggest what makes the season 2 feel so different than season 1 is that there are multiple storylines, right? So like season 1, we only had to worry about Ted Lasso and integrating himself in with an English football team. This one, as you said, they've opened it up. We have multiple storylines, so it feels like you're jumping from place to place. Right. And at least it seems like maybe the show hasn't figured out how to do that too well, or it doesn't feel like a natural thing for them.
Here's the difference. There were subplots in the first season, right? You have Roy Kent dealing with retirement coming to the end. You have Jamie Tart and his stuff. You have Keeley. You have Rebecca, right? And
that's true.
But they all integrated and folded back into Ted.
And
Ted
the team.
And the team. And Ted
was literally the center of the universe.
Ted was a central part, and these stories kind of then clipped off of him, right? Like episode 4 is kind of like a big episode that I feel like a lot of people talk about, where they do the auction, right? Where you have all these characters, and that's where a lot of these subplots really start to bubble up. And so you earned it, right? It was not until episode 4 you really started getting into that. But because this is a second season and a continuation, it feels like the writers have just kind of gone all in. And right now, like, Roy's story doesn't connect back to the team or Ted, right? Jamie has only now come back to the team, right?
Spoilers.
Rebecca is just dating right now, right? Even though she's the owner of the team, she's just now looking for a guy. But it has nothing to do with the team and her ex-husband.
So she's going to end up with Ted.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Maybe. Who knows?
We should do a week-to-week like rankings of who's hooking up with who.
Oh man,
like
this isn't How I Met Your Mother.
I think the biggest difference that I think you have to take into account as well. Ted Lasso, a lot of people discovered it once it was done its original air. All, was it 10 episodes of the first season were out. You could just sit there and binge it. Most people binged it in a day.
Yeah.
I've done that multiple times, both because I wanted to and both because I was forced. But, it's something that is bingeable, and it's bingeable because you care about the characters and you want to know what happens next. I guess the question is, remembering back to episode 1 and now episode 2, is your mind in that same kind of place where it's like, I really want to watch the next episode, or is your mind in the place of, okay, well, whatever happens next, cool, whatever.
Yeah, for me, it feels more like, let's see what happens next, but it's not like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what happens next.
It's not like when we were younger watching Stargate, and there was like the mid-season finale, and you're like, oh, I gotta know what happens next
I gotta
week.
wait 3 months before I know if Teal'c survived.
I don't think I joined you on that quest. I was more into Dragon
Star
Ball
Trek,
Z.
got it.
Star Trek? No, neither. Not
Yeah.
that one either.
Star Wars Episode 8.
I felt like that about Dragon Ball Z.
Did you feel that about Episode 8 after watching that, where you're like, I really need to know what happens next?
Yes, because episode 8 posed interesting questions
Christian, you are
and
into-
situations, and
you
then
are
they
in-
undid it.
You are into a Star Trek. It's called Star Trek Lower Decks.
That's true.
Season 2 coming back, I think, next week.
Yeah,
So-
very, very soon.
Yeah,
That is one. That is a show like season 1 where it was like, I want to keep going. I want more stories. I'm very interested.
It was a fun show.
Yeah.
It was a fun show. I think for this season, so I guess maybe I'm in the minority here, but I liked season 1, but it was never like, I have to watch the whole thing. Like, it was just more of this is a fun comedy to put on. It's easy to watch, low stakes, feel good from it. And definitely don't have like the feel good yet, I think, for season 2. And I think a lot of people have talked about that. I think we've had discussions about that here, obviously, that maybe it's missing some of what made season 1 so popular right now. But
missing the charm.
yeah, for me, I guess because it's such a low stakes show, it's just like I can kind of enjoy it. I can throw it on, and it's still enjoyable. I still like the Roy Kent stuff was hilarious in episode 2 for me, and I really enjoyed that, and that made the episode for me. It's like, okay, this was worth my 30-minute investment to get some good some good chuckles of a guy just
Swearing on live TV.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Nice,
this is
nice.
great. Like this is great, and so yeah, I'll keep giving the show a chance. It's not. It's not in danger of like, oh yeah, I don't really need to watch it anymore. But
Junior just quits.
yeah, for me, the first season was enjoyable. It never was like I have to watch all of this. It wasn't, and maybe I think I enjoy comedies, but maybe on a different level versus like a drama or a sci-fi. Because I feel like comedies in general are just
Simpler TV.
they're simpler and
Yeah.
they're just more fun, right? And I consume them for a different reason than I would like a Loki, right? Or a Stargate or whatever, or Flash even in the early days.
Flash.
You know that show's
is a
still
joke.
going?
Yeah, I know, it's great. They've like lost all the original cast at this point. It's
great.
hilarious.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's ask that question then for Ted Lasso.
Where's the show going?
Yeah. Let's hear some boinker theories. I want the
Ted
dumbest
is a
of the dumb
Ted is a
theories.
Wait, you
variant.
want dumb, or would you
This-
want what we think will happen?
We're on an alternate timeline. The Loki multiverse thing has reached Ted Lasso.
I want to hear like
This is a
like
variant.
a logical theory
logical.
that you think where the show's going and what could end up.
Can I
happening.
steal one from you? One of you said this.
Sure.
Who is the coach? Who is the newest coach? Who used to be the maintenance guy? Nate. Coach Nate
Nate the Great.
is going to do bad stuff this year.
You think he might be the villain?
Yeah. I think he is villain-esque because he's become a huge asshole. And there's
Yeah.
also this like weird scene at the end of episode 2
Yeah.
where Leslie, right, Higgins, is moving around the office, and then he cuts that Ted's like, hey, you can sit with us.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you can share an office with Nate. And they have this quick shot, and Nate's just like, like he's not happy about it. It's never really addressed, so it's like, okay, if it's not addressed in this episode,
It's gonna be.
it
a
must
thing.
be coming back, and it feels like they might be adding some.
I think the
some
big
stuff
one is
there.
I think Nate's character. He excelled very quickly to his position.
Yeah.
The first season that he
Yep.
was with Ted Lasso. I think now he wants more power.
Yeah.
I think he's become power mad and power hungry.
Yeah.
So I think what you're going to see is I think he's going to end up going to another club that's going to offer him a
Ooh.
better position.
manager spot.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's what's going to happen.
That'd be
Which
interesting.
happens all the time. Like, that does legitimate. Like, it does happen.
Not quite that quick.
But
You don't
remember, this is
you
a
don't-
show, right?
No. You're absolutely right. Right. The show's already proven that they don't.
I mean, a
stick
college
to
football
realistic,
coach, right?
Yeah, they don't stick to realistic expectations. Right. College football coach and Roy Kent swearing.
Yeah,
off live TV.
Waterboy to
Waterboy
assistant.
manager in one season.
Hells
Even
yeah.
that
Let's do
is
it.
A little bit
That's
beyond.
the glow up story of the century.
I mean, if they do it and it's like ridiculous and it's funny, maybe that's what we will save the
So
season.
I want
Like, are you fucking
to add on
crazy?
to that. My theory, I think Roy Kent is gonna do the TV stuff for a little bit, but he's going to end up like he's gonna be on that show bashing teams, and a team is gonna be like, "Cool, shut the fuck up, put your money where your mouth is, coach this team," and then that's where I think you'll see Nate either probably not get like a management spot, but he'll jump ship with Roy Kent.
Oh, so I see it the opposite. Maybe Roy does TV, but he swears too much, gets fired, and then he comes to coach for Richmond. And he's the one that's able to rein in Jamie, because now Jamie's back on the team.
That would make sense.
Because I'm also interested to see, like, with Nate really doesn't get his voice until Jamie leaves the team, right? Because Jamie is abusive. Like, he's mean to a lot
He's
of
an
the team.
asshole.
He's an asshole. It'll be interesting to see him come back. You know, are his asshole traits going to be completely gone? I don't think it'd be a good TV show if they were, so I think we'll see some of that. I wonder how Nate responds to that. Does he continue his tyrannical role? Because he kind of he's slowly turning into a Jamie Tart type, right? The way he was like
Nate?
It's that insecurity, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
Jamie Tart, a lot of why he acted out is his past and the insecurity of trying to be the best all the time, right? And living up to those expectations of his dad.
Yep.
So it would be kind of interesting if Jamie does come back and is somewhat reformed.
Yeah.
But Nate's the one who's acting like the bully now, right?
Right.
I think in terms of predictions for the show, I think Rupert, which is what's the owner's name?
Rebecca.
Rebecca's ex-husband was going to make an
The
appearance.
Prime Minister
He'll
from Little Britain.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Britain.
He was
Yeah.
also in Buffy.
That's right. Yeah.
You watched Buffy, huh?
You didn't.
Me.
Wow.
I heard it was
I
good.
actually didn't watch Buffy either.
I heard it was really good though. But anyways, so yeah, he's going to come back. He's going to be some kind of complication. As far as the Roy Kent thing goes, I think what's going to happen is he's going to make a name for himself being brutally honest about every team, and then Richmond is going to keep tying or start losing, and then on TV. He's not going to have the same candor with that team since they have a soft spot for him. That's going to cause him to lose probably his reputation's probably going to go down
Right.
at that point. I don't think he's going to be introduced as a coach this season. I think they might hold that for maybe the
Do we
last
know
season.
how many seasons this thing's running for?
So
or
it's officially renewed for a third season. I think the creators talked about
3, right?
the third season likely will be the last, but I don't think that's been confirmed.
But you never know.
But yeah,
I think I was saying this to Christian the other day. I think it's going to be a 3-part act. It's introducing Ted Lasso, them getting knocked out. They're not going to get back into the Premier League this season.
Wow.
I think this season is just a big old fucking character development season. And then the last season isn't going to be them winning the Premier. It's going to be them
Getting
back into it. And then that's that.
Even though at the end of season 1 they set up the 3 seasons as so they already got relegated.
Yeah.
This season would be getting promoted back.
Yep.
And then
win the whole
winning
thing.
the whole thing. Which
I
would be,
think it would be more interesting, like because you would expect that. You expect that big,
Sure.
like, yeah, we're gonna get all the way, and then we're gonna win the champ. Like, woo, it's too like
too
ugh,
convenient
whatever. That's
or-
boring. I like the idea of like let's like go tooth and nail, and then that last season's getting back into it, and then you can make your own mind up in terms of what happens next, as opposed to like this beautiful story of a college football coach coming to England.
and winning the whole damn thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe on that part, maybe the season ends with Ted being fired, right? Maybe they get relegated again, and there's nothing else that they can do
Yeah.
except right. I feel like this season's setting up. There's a line, I forget if it's episode 1 or 2, where Ted is talking to the psychologist, and he's like, "Well, everything's hunky dory, right? Everything's good to go," and she's like, "Yeah,
do 8 straight ties.
do 8
feel
straight ties
hunky-dory to you?
say hunky dory." So I feel like at some point, right, the actual competition the competition and the results do matter.
Yeah.
Like you see in real sports, like you can get along great with everyone, but if you lose and you suck, you suck.
Well, his partner, the other coach,
Coach.
was like, coach is saying it's disrespectful, and he doesn't want to work with someone who's so selfish and doesn't want to win.
Right.
So I think that has to come back up at some point. It's kind of weird that they've gone 8 straight ties and you haven't seen that like similar conversation come up where it's like, we need to do something. But then again, but by maybe introducing Jamie, that's where...
Well, that must be part of his, he frames it as we got to give him another chance, but is there also a part of Lasso now who's like, we also need to win?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Leslie says at one point, he's like, 2 aces are better than 1. They need more talent. He's undeniably talented.
Also the
players, right? You play them. You put up with this shit.
And his price is perfect because nobody wants him.
Yeah.
So, it's like,
so they probably got him for a steal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably.
He's earning $200 a week. They got him cleaning the bathrooms. Yeah.
Well, he still has friends on that team. Remember, he went up to a couple people and they did the friendly fist bump. So it's not like it's the team versus Jamie. So
right. It's not.
There
will be Sam versus Jamie, as we saw with the whole Sam thing, which was
disrespectful. Disrespectful to the coach.
It kind of came out of nowhere. Like it just in terms of it makes sense with how they presented it, but I feel like with the Sam, I'm glad that they're giving more characters more screen time, but I wish they had developed more of that character in season 1. So then that doesn't feel like it's a big jump of him having the outburst.
Yeah, I guess. Well, so remember in season 1, only because I've seen every episode multiple times because Ravi's been watching it every day.
Yeah.
So they do, and it's a bit more subtle, or it's not as like in your face in season 1.
Right.
But Sam and Jamie do have a few.
They knock heads
quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he like steps over him.
Yeah.
He doesn't pass to him. He doesn't give the extra pass.
And there's a couple quick lines in these first 2 episodes where Sam is now the star of the team.
Right.
He is their best player. So
isn't Danny?
Danny Rojas
is their best player.
Danny, the first 2 games, Danny has been bad, and they presented. So Sam, remember, is going to some awards thing like social media. Mm-hmm. So he's getting the recognition for keeping this.
So he's
team
becoming
afloat.
the face of the
He's
team.
becoming a face of the team, right? While Danny struggles,
right?
Sam is the face of the team right now. He's why they haven't lost games, right? So. It's been quick. You're right. Maybe you wish there was a bit more development there, but it's not totally out of the blue, I guess.
No, yeah.
But it's not perfect. Like this season, obviously, is.
We want perfection.
Yeah,
we do.
We want perfection from Ted Lasso.
Here's the thing.
Ted.
Apple makes beautiful products like iPhones that never have problems. So therefore, I expect their original TV shows to be fucking perfect.
If this follows the Apple model, every season will be exactly the same and progressively just get worse and worse and worse. Introducing Ted Lasso, season 12.1.
What about the H1 chip?
I do like that
M1.
we have the big like Apple keynotes where they're showing new products or software.
They're
throwing in like some of the show stuff in there, which is great. It's great. It's great. It's like awesome.
I mean, when are they going to get the actors from the shows to do like parts of the keynotes? Soon. Hey, I'm Coach Lasso here, and I want to talk to you about them iPhone.
God, that would be genius. God,
I'm sure there's
marketing.
There's something. There has to be something already built. But we've got other things to talk about, so let's ask this question real quick. Krishna, was Ted Lasso season 2, episode 1 and 2 good?
I'm gonna say no. I think it was too much of a drop off from season 1. And to be honest, I found parts of the first episodes a bit boring, which I never had that problem with season 1. So for me, it's gonna be a no. Arjuna, was the first 2 episodes of Ted Lasso good for you?
I'm gonna say yes. I enjoyed them. I had some chuckles. I had some laughs. And from my bar of where I put this show, they were good.
Sorry, when you said from my bar, I just pictured you behind a bar pouring. Like, from my bar while I was watching the show, bartending.
Yeah,
on Hollywood.
You're not supposed to have 6, vodka cranberries before you watch the Ted Lasso episode.
Maybe that's the formula. To make
that's why Arjuna is saying yes.
You're like, I love this show. It's great.
I love everything. Everything's great.
Yeah.
And now I'm saying
everything is I'm slurring my words.
Ravi, thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you.
Was Ted Lasso season 2, episodes 1 and 2, Roy fucking Kent, good?
I'm actually going to surprise you both and say yes.
I am surprised.
I heard our producer just go, fuck.
Yeah,
and there's actually only one reason I'm gonna say it's good, and it's because I didn't notice the green screen in that bar scene the first time, and I'm a big
stickler for CGI.
Yeah, and the fact that like it worked and I
You're a
couldn't see
big
it.
Richmond fan.
Yeah, I think that was good. They had to do the show in a difficult time,
Totally.
and I think
for
visually
sure.
they're doing a really good job. The story may suck, but I'm still hopeful that the rest of the season will kind of make up for
sure.
not the best season opener by any means, but I think overall we're getting there.
There's definitely some interesting
Yeah.
stuff that hopefully develops well.
Random aside here. I in the very first episode they have a few scenes in the bar, and the three like fans
Yep.
that were in all throughout the first season weren't in any of episode 1. And I got nervous. I was like, oh no, they cut these characters, and like, yeah, they're flavored, they're not big or anything, but I'm like, you
They
always
represent the town.
they
They're
represent
important.
the town
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah,
But
yeah.
then in season 2 with the green screen, they showed them on the
Or episode
opposite
2,
end.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, episode 2. I was like, oh, thank God they didn't get rid of them. Like you like those little pieces and those little bits that fill out the
It makes the whole
show.
the world, right? It makes it feel alive and
Exactly.
real and something,
Exactly.
which is great.
Especially the guy in the middle when Roy Kent's like swearing, and they're like, "Yeah, Roy fucking Kent, yeah, Roy Kent." And the guy in the middle's like, "I love his candor." It was so good. I mean, the best part of the episode.
Yeah.
Speaking about things that we love, Star Wars.
Yes.
Star Wars. Should Star Wars have like a Ted Lasso like show?
They do. It's called Bad Batch.
Wow.
Which is what
That's
we're
a
talking. Which is what we're talking about right now. We just watched episode 14 of the first season. There are 2 episodes left.
Wow.
The following episode is going to be the penultimate, and then the finale. The finale. Real quick, 14 episodes of a brand new Dave Filoni animated show. The first season. What do we think so far?
I mean, best season 1 of a Dave Filoni animated show.
Yep.
Not a high bar. Clone Wars season 1 is
not a high bar.
not great.
No.
Rebels season 1 is okay, but pretty slow. And Resistance, as it took me the entire season to get through before I was like, this show is potentially worth watching.
Oh, you're not even sold on it yet.
No, I'm in season
are.
2
He
now.
did a pitch to us.
I know. I'm about to say, I'm like,
No,
don't
I
renege
watched
on
a couple episodes in season 2. I'm like, this show's a lot better now.
us. Okay, good.
But it took 20 episodes. That's a lot for a show that's only 2 seasons. It's literally over. It's half of the show. Takes
Wait,
half of the show. to get there.
they only are set Resistance up for 2 seasons?
Yeah, so because Resistance, the way they did Resistance was season 1 is pre-episode 7 and then during post-episode 7. And I believe season 8 is between 7 and 8, is like right before episode 8 and then between 8 and 9. And
Oh,
then
that's cool.
They wanted it to basically fill in some of the gaps because
Interesting.
Poe shows up a bunch in season 1 and BB-8 is in it, and then like near the end,
Spoilers.
spoiler alert, but near the end of season 1, Poe takes BB-8 away because then he goes to his whole
does
adventure.
Oscar Isaac voice?
He does actually.
He
yes.
does?
Yeah.
Oh, now we gotta watch it. It got some star
I mean,
power. in
I'm
there.
convinced to watch it. I still have a hard time
getting through the
turning
first
it
20
on.
episodes. Oh yeah.
Maybe just
my
skip
finger
to
won't let me.
episode 20.
No, we can't do that.
Yeah, you need the character development.
Oh God, I hate that. But anyway, Bad Batch. This episode was quite interesting. We got to see a couple of really cool things. We got to see the first phase of what's known as the TK Trooper, or the classic Stormtrooper that we all have come to know and love. And the first phase, as they're calling, is actually a cool throw back to Ralph McQuarrie, who did the original concept art.
Yeah.
I have the figure over there.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, we
there.
should have had that right there.
Or like rise up from the ground.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
We don't have that technology.
We don't, unfortunately.
If you want to, you can give us money to get that technology.
Which, as a Star Wars fan, like, I think that's really cool that they've kind of officially made the Ralph McQuarrie armor like canon, which is great. Now these TK stormtroopers are being trained by commandos. And one of these commandos, now we've seen commandos before. Gregor, who was, what color was he? Was he red? The red commando?
That was yellow.
Maybe-
I can't remember.
Well, no, the yellow one, Scorch, is in this past episode of Bad Batch.
Right.
Gregor, I think, is a gray variant
Okay.
of the Commandos. Now, the Commandos are best known for their appearance in Republic Commando, a very old, I think like 2006, 2007.
I think earlier than that.
Yeah, video game where you play commandos on
Geonosis.
and yeah,
Click-clacks
very cool first
planet.
person shooter. But yeah, so there's that. So there's been obviously a lot of characters, Star Wars characters from previous anime shows showing up.
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane has
Hera.
shown up. Raxus.
Raxus is the planet.
Raxus the planet.
That go on.
Hera.
That has the Indian Pakistani senator.
What?
Raxus is a familiar place though. In
Gotcha.
Star Wars lore, we have Hera,
Hera.
Gregor.
Ryloth, Gregor. Do you think this is taking away from our initial group of Bad Batchians, or is this adding more context to them? Obviously, we also had Rex show up now twice.
Yeah, and probably I would assume a third time for the finale with the way everything's going.
For me, it hasn't taken away because it's a Dave Filoni show. I'd be pissed if they didn't show up. Like, I watch a Dave Filoni show to see how it connects to the rest of the Dave Filoni universe.
The Filoniverse.
We knew it was happening in we knew it was going to happen in Mandalorian. We knew it was going to happen in Bad Batch. It better happen in Bad Batch. So to me, it doesn't take it away. Say, Will, this is still a kid show, I believe, right?
I think it's general audience. GA.
General. Oh, well, even better. But it's still made for kids to be able to enjoy. So
Well, I'm a child. I do.
and you enjoy it.
It's true.
I
You're
assume.
right.
So, so it's not like the Bad Batch themselves are the deepest, most interesting characters we've ever seen, right? Like on their own. So I think it's more than okay to bring in all these extra characters who we have history with and whatnot.
Yeah, it seems like the development of the batch is slower than you probably want in a show called The Bad Batch, because there are so many kind of dangling elements. You know, the Ryloth Hera storyline. Really, she's really the focus of that arc, and you kind of learn about her roots and how she becomes more into the Resistance, and what leads her to being more of a pilot and kind of going off and losing her French accent. And
Yeah, I want to know how that happens. Like what
the
biggest mystery in Star Wars right now.
Getting some chopper action in there and stuff. But I wouldn't say it takes away, but I do wish, it feels like we haven't, almost done a first season. We haven't got the development behind these characters and really figured out like what makes them tick and what makes them like unique and individual. Like Tech, Echo, and Wrecker, are really just caricatures still. Like Wrecker's the brawn, and Tech is the tech guy, and Echo is Echo. And it's like
Echo
cool.
goes Echo.
No, he literally echoes anything that anyone else says. Like he just repeats it a little bit differently.
Yeah. I mean,
That consistently happens.
He's also Rex's best friend. So
right. And then obviously the characters who've gotten development are Omega. She's been pretty much our protagonist for the show.
Yeah,
she's the one that is like learning the ropes and getting new equipment every week and really powering up. Like this is like a Power Ranger season. She's getting the new Megazord and she's gonna get the upgraded armor. It's great. But then obviously Crosshair, our member of the batch who's been away, has developed a lot as we've kind of learned more about him and what makes him tick, and that seems to be coming to a head now with the end of the season. But I assume because there's more of the show, it's like I think we're a little more lenient on this development. If there's 2 episodes left and then this is the end of the Bad Batch, I think we'd all be pretty disappointed and like,
Oh, I'd be so annoyed.
I couldn't honestly tell you like what makes the Bad Batch the Bad Batch.
Well, also it'd be like, what was the point? Like you filled a couple of gaps in where it's like, cool, we got a little story with Hera. That's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think we're probably gonna see more of the Bad Batch after these 2 episodes.
Yeah.
These last 2 episodes, I think, are going to be interesting because obviously
Crosshair.
Hunter's
been captured.
has been captured on that
Like
weird
Cross.
base. The Kaminoans just had their
What a development.
prime minister probably executed.
Honestly,
It's a bit murky.
maybe this is a
It's
controversial
a bit
take.
murdery.
Maybe this is a controversial take, but the what's happening in the universe in Bad Batch is honestly like the most fascinating part.
Oh yeah,
With the clones being phased out, with what's
Governments
happening
being-
with the Kaminoans, all even with the Tarkin stuff, right? All of that stuff has been like fascinating and how those stories have developed, and like I think that's what I'm more excited to see about in this finale of like what's going to happen with these remaining clones and like Crosshair and others, and even with like the Ryloth stuff, in Gregor and some of these other characters, you're seeing more and more clones kind of rebel. Like they're going against
Yeah,
their
let's
programming.
talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
Gregor is obviously on this planet.
Yep.
Braxis, right?
Yep.
How did he
He's defective.
defeat his programming?
He's
Is he defective?
I think so. I think because he has a very distinct speech pattern. He definitely thinks
So remember,
differently.
he crashed on
Allegedly
that planet.
dies.
Well, remember we first see Gregor in
He's dead.
Clone Wars, and he is during that wonderful droid arc where Gregor, he crashes on a planet and gets his memory lost,
Right.
and then he gets his memory back.
Yeah.
So most likely,
And then you think he dies in Clone Wars.
Yeah, 'cause it
he
blows-
takes an explosion, but he survives and he regroups with the.
Oh, so that's what he
commandos.
meant when he's like, "I've survived worse" or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly, then the chip got knocked around in his head.
For sure,
Probably.
But even with the captain, the really cool captain on Ryloth, right?
Yeah.
He is going against his orders. He actually stands down, and he gets other clones to stand down too and be like, "Brothers, what we're doing is not right. Stand down."
I think
Some of them do it, so it's not like entirely in coordination with Order 66, right? Like, yeah, they probably still did kill Jedi and see them as enemies, but there's more free will to the clones, I think, than we were led to
I
believe.
wonder if Order 66 is kind of like, think of it like, if you take Advil
Yeah.
and it's Advil for like pain or whatever, it'll work for a little bit, but it'll eventually wear off. I wonder if that's what Order 66 and that chip is the order's there. It did its best to rewrite whatever, right, to make them think the Jedi are evil, etc. But now that time is going along and they're seeing what's happening.
Or counter theory, the Kaminoan governor clearly knew that the Empire was going to make this move, right? So he was like, "We got to escape." What if he had their scientists put in a counter Order 66 and
Order 67?
yeah, exactly, which should start to override Order 66. So we're seeing more of these like rogue situations pop up. Also, this also would just help the Empire. This whole thing that's happening with like clones starting to disobey, act out, and actually straight up do the opposite of the orders they're given, is going to help speed up the phasing out of them.
So what is that?
Maybe even like we gotta
That's what I was gonna
destroy
ask.
them.
Yeah.
Move straight.
Is
up.
that what
Move
they're
on to
gonna do?
TKs. Move on to TKs, and we got to get rid of the clones because they're a liability.
So I guess if we go off of Rebels, right? We know that clones still exist,
yes,
and we know that they're known within the universe and the Empire. So I don't think it's going to be a complete eradication of them, but we haven't seen the point yet in the show where they're looked down upon by the Empire. And I think that's the shift we're going to get. Of like, you guys are these defective units. That propaganda is going to be kind of put out. To the
Well,
Empire
Rex
and the
actually says it
soldiers.
in Rebels too, I believe, where it's like they phase them out,
Yeah.
which is basically put them in retirement.
Right.
So I don't think we're gonna see like a mass eradication of like these clones. I think it's gonna be turn in your gun, turn in your armor, bye bye,
And it's
and then they go their separate. And remember,
Right.
the galaxy is supposedly a big place, but depending on
people keep bumping into each
yeah,
other. It's
exactly.
weird.
Like honestly,
The show is all about that. But
Where's
Yeah.
Darth Maul?
yeah, I mean that's a good question. But like this show, even I think in the episode with Gregor, they're using the clones, and even with Crosshair, they're using the clones to train these new soldiers. So it has to be a phase out. It can't be just like a complete. Nope, we're going from clones
yeah.
to just these loyal servants who we haven't trained yet.
Or
They gotta
it's like the final test of the TKs. Turn on your commanders.
Which is interesting.
That'd be wild.
I guess what's fascinating is that there's a line in episode 2, right, where it's they say to Obi-Wan Kenobi, there's 500,000 already made and another 1 point something million in production, or so by the end of the Clone Wars, right, episode 3, post episode 3, and even now, there's got to be only less than 1 million, I would assume, clone troopers running around there, and the entire Empire itself is bigger than the Republic Army, I believe, because they are pulling in soldiers from every corner of the galaxy, every species known to that galaxy. I'd be curious to see what are the numbers, right?
Yeah.
Like at what point are we right now in the Bad Batch where it's TK units? Because you have to think that base on Raxus, that's not the only base that's doing
Totally.
this, right? There's got to be hundreds, maybe thousands of these facilities where they're training soldiers. So I'd be curious to see what is the ratio right now to TK to clones.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. This is expanded universe stuff now, but at the height of the Empire, the number that's thrown around is 10 million TKs.
Oh wow, okay.
The Stormtroopers at the height of the Empire.
So like
we're talking
almost
like
a 10-to-1 ratio essentially.
Yeah, but that's expanded. I don't know if that number is going to be pulled up or used or though, because if you think about it, 10 million to rule a galaxy is not enough. To if you think about it, right?
10 trillion.
You would actually need like trillions of soldiers to actually keep order in a galaxy. That's just how many.
Yeah, because you would imagine like invading a planet, right? Like during the Clone Wars series, you would have these big battles going up in space, these big battles happening on the ground. That's probably at least 1 million right there, I would assume.
I mean, just think about how many people live on Earth. Now extrapolate
7
that to
million?
hundreds of worlds. 7 billion, right? Now extrapolate that to
Were there
hundreds
7
of worlds at
billion
least.
people? I thought it was million. I'm just kidding.
Ouch. I mean, I've only seen like 3 of them, so you might be right.
Yeah. How do we know that people exist? Just like
I don't know.
dinosaurs.
Just like dinosaurs.
Oh
I'm not
dear.
sure.
Oh dear.
Anyway, let's ask that question. So obviously we're covering episodes 9 through 14. Oh, one little fun, stupid thing that's probably not true at all because you had mentioned Darth Maul. So in episode 13, the episode before this, we it had the nice little development episode.
The bugs? The bugs?
With the bugs? Oh, the bugs and the Pikes.
Yes.
I thought it was kind of funny that the Pikes were wearing dark red because if you remember at the end of the Clone Wars, Maul was talking with the Pikes.
Yeah.
The Red Sun, all the crime families.
So do you think they're under Darth Maul?
Maybe, but it might not be the case. But I just thought, it's red.
Let's sing it up.
I also thought in that episode
Let's hang it up.
13, I paused this and I showed it to Christian. I thought Crosshair was on their planet and like hanging out because there was like an avatar that looked just like Crosshair.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It was.
I mean, unless it was.
No,
he
used
lied.
character design.
It could have been as well. Like I could see why you would think that. It was just like we had to pause it and go up to the screen and be like, oh, okay.
I'm like, that's Crosshair.
Yeah.
Just Crosshair.
Yeah.
But
More like
guys,
boss hair.
we'll start with Arjuna this time. Arjuna was Bad Batch episodes 9 through 14. Very random number selection.
Well, the last episode we talked about was episode 8.
Well, yeah, I know, but still kind of random.
That's why I put 9.
Anyway, was it good?
Yeah, it was good. The show has been enjoyable. I've liked watching it week to week. I feel like they're, really starting to spread the Star Wars tentacles out. Omega seems like a character that's going to be prominent and potentially in the Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian and some of the live action shows. And maybe some of the Bad Batch even show up too. So I like that. I like that it's a living, breathing universe, and they're not afraid to just kind of have stories intertwine, and have fun with them. So it's refreshing. Krishna, was the Bad Batch, the episodes that were mentioned previously, good?
Oh, 9 through 14?
Yes.
Yes, they were good. Yeah, pretty much the same. It's nothing like mind blowing or groundbreaking.
I'm sorry, the same like you like the tentacles intertwining and all that?
I'm sorry. I thought that was a metaphor. Was there actually?
No, Arjuna just admitted on our pod he likes tentacles.
Oh
That
my
intertwines.
goodness.
Fucking weirdo.
Yeah, not mind blowing or groundbreaking by any means, but
Wow.
like Arjuna said, it's a season 1 of a Dave Filoni animated show. I've enjoyed every episode as it is. The animation is great. The choreography is really good. It's the best Star Wars animated show there is to date in terms of how it looks. Sound design is great.
Also, shout out to the voice actor who does the voice for all the characters.
Yeah, he just
Okay, I
literally.
mentioned that to you. I was like, I cannot believe
Same guy.
the range of this guy. If it is in fact one
It
person,
is, yeah,
it's
with
one guy.
crosshair.
Yeah.
How does he do Omega?
If you
Omega's
look-
a
no,
little girl. Omega's all
A
clones. You
different
said, oh,
Omega.
No,
is
so so yeah, if you look on IMDb for this show,
yeah.
his listing is it's the Bad Batch.
It's
Oh,
he's great. I
man.
mean, all the characters do distinctly sound different.
Yeah.
They do, and it's honestly like, maybe I don't know if this is a strength or a weakness, but I think it's a strength. Every time Crosshair speaks for the first time in an episode, I laugh.
Just follow.
Yeah. He just has like the slimiest, like rattiest, like voice, like, hey.
I wonder if
And it's a D. Bradley Baker who
Right.
does the voice.
Yeah,
of
shout
all
out
of
to
them.
great
Bradley
voice
Baker,
actor.
like,
Shout out to
incredible.
him.
Incredible.
He's great.
And he does all the like random clones too, like Gregor and the cool guy on Ryloth,
Yeah.
Mohawk Man.
He's a popular guy.
Wrecker, Echo. Wow, yeah, it's great range.
I mean, Echo and Hunter obviously sound similar because they sound like the traditional clones, like Rex.
Yep. But still,
they're still distinct.
Yeah,
They
Rex
have
has
their
a
own
distinct
thing.
voice too. To a degree.
Just cadence, like the cadence and their vernacular is all slightly different, and you kind of like even if you close your eyes, you're like, I know that's Rex, I know that's Hunter, I know that's Echo.
Honestly, like I would say, like award nominating worthy.
Yeah.
To be honest, like just the range that he's been able to demonstrate in the show, I'm like, God, you don't hear many other television shows where someone's playing different voices to that level, and it's like the main characters plus all your side characters, or some of them.
Yeah.
So
What about the folks that do The Simpsons?
do they play?
They
do they play 14 characters an episode?
Sometimes, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's common in voice acting. The thing that I feel like the biggest difference here is it's one guy doing like almost all the main characters. So
And they're all clones.
It's a lot versus like The Simpsons. Like Hank Azaria does a lot of the characters, but he's playing supporting
Different
characters.
yeah.
And it's only a couple lines here, a couple lines there. Versus like he has like
This guy has
D.
to have
Bradley
full-on
Baker
conversations
with himself.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, does he go and
Sometimes
he
with more than
records
two
all of
characters.
Hunter's lines and then goes back and then does somebody else and then plays off of...
Love to know what that
recording.
process
Yeah,
is.
I mean, and then does he go back and then reduce the Hunter lines?
Because I feel like it would be
'Cause then-
harder for him to go back into different voices, throughout.
Or maybe he does, though.
I mean,
maybe he's that good where he's just reading the script as it is. He goes from Hunter to Echo to Rex. To
Lucasfilm, if you're
back to
watching,
Wrecker.
or listening to this podcast, please release the video of D. Bradley Baker.
Yes.
In the recording.
Oh
session.
God, that should definitely be a thing.
would be
That would be
fun.
fascinating.
Some social
Maybe like
content.
Star Wars Celebration, they could do like a table read or something. It's just him at the table by himself.
And the actress who plays Omega, who's like, "Hi, I'm Omega."
And she's like says nothing for like minutes on end because
But what about Hunter?
I'm Omega. I like Hera. Ravi, was episodes 9 through 14 of I almost said was it good? Of the Bad Batch
Wow.
good?
Yes, it was good. Enjoyable. I mean, again, there was a couple annoying pieces here and there where it's too much character development. Not enough of
I would say it's not a
Darth Maul.
So here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The show needs, if it had more character actual development of getting into the characters and figuring out what they tick,
Mm-hmm.
it would give you, I think, what you're looking for, which is a bit more depth. The show actually has, like most Filoni shows animated, has a lack of character development.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like, here's the mission, here's the fighting, here's the debriefing.
Mandalorian
here's
season
the-
2.
here's-
We have to go and do this quest.
Yeah,
The quest.
I got this fetch quest.
The quest.
Gotta deliver the frog lady.
Oh, man.
To her husband.
So that's going to do us on Bad Batch and Ted Lasso. Before we get out of here, a couple of Was It News items. We already talked about the new Venom trailer. I think to kind of recap that,
Average.
violence,
Great.
CGI, fuckfest.
Red.
Whoa. I'm
Let's
not
just
that
throw
kind of
out
movie.
tons of adjectives. Speaking about adjectives and cool things, Lord of the Rings release date. The new Amazon Prime. Very, 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 very expensive.
Most expensive show ever made.
I'm pretty sure it's
Something
the
like that?
most expensive show ever made.
Over Game of Thrones.
Probably, yeah, I think so. We have a release date, September 2nd, 2022. Arjuna will be 30, Krishna will be 40, and I will be in my 60s.
Wait, I'm sorry, what? Oh, so we have a little
We're going to have a
time
weird
variance here.
timey thing
wobbly.
happen between now and then, I've decided.
Jesus.
I don't know. Have you both seen the picture that was released?
no,
I saw the
I
picture.
haven't.
Christian, let me show you the picture real quick.
live reaction here to the picture.
Let's see if this
very
will actually
excited.
there. That's the picture that was released.
Wow.
What's your initial, like, when you see that, what do you think? Do you think Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Or do you think Krennic overlooking his new Death
No,
Star?
at least because it's not full screen, so it's not perfect, but it definitely looks like Lord of the Rings, like the buildings
like
in the
Rivendell.
back with with the bridge over there.
I thought it was Gondor. I
I get Lord of the Rings vibes from that. Hard,
don't know why I thought Gondor.
hardcore,
You got hardcore?
hardcore.
He got hard.
I get Lord of the Rings vibes. Hardcore.
Yeah. Christian is actually he's actually going to move to the picture.
Wow.
I'm moving into
yeah,
the
by
picture.
the way, that's interesting. When this movie, when the series comes out, Krishna will not be sitting on the couch.
He'll be there.
We'll have to actually dial you in because Krishna has a one-way ticket to Middle Earth.
Middle Earth, yeah.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
loved this picture so much. He just booked He just booked his permanent
it's-
residence.
You can
the,
book the trip on Zoopedia.com.
It's the discount version though of Middle Earth. It won't actually be New Zealand.
So here's actually real quick on the Lord of the Rings. A funny thing I saw drop today as well. Peter Jackson came out and said that if they wanted to, there are longer versions of the extended cuts of the original Lord of the Rings.
Zack Snyder, what have you done?
Told you again. A
Every
lot
director-
of people have been
Every
influenced
director
by
comes
that.
out. Yeah, my movie what's a horrible comedy movie? Rush Hour 3. Brett Ratner's like, I have the director's cut.
I was thinking for some reason when we said terrible comedy movie, I was thinking that Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson one where they're in the Charger car.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, the Starsky and Hutch movie.
That wasn't
Ben
that bad.
Stiller? Yeah. Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson.
I haven't seen it in like 15 years.
Yeah.
I could tell you.
Well, I just think it's funny Peter Jackson came out with that
Powerized.
when this picture dropped today.
That's hilarious, and let's see it.
Peter Jackson is not attached to the show in any way, shape, or form, correct?
I believe he is not. I thought his studio was.
Interesting.
So he is then.
Don't quote us on any of
If
that.
his studio's in it, then so is he.
Here's
Weta?
also here's my
This is
bold
Weta?
prediction for this
Oh.
because it's the only thing that we can come up with right now. The first trailer will drop during Super Bowl
56.
56.
You think
That's
so?
the first trailer, yeah.
I don't
This
know.
is
if it
good
will.
timing.
Well, Amazon has Twitch, which they're doing some football broadcasts, correct? So maybe they do. Maybe they put it on. Maybe they do it for Twitch
Monday
thing.
Night Football.
Why would you? You're making the most
Thursday Night Football.
expensive.
Thursday night.
You're making the most
Even
expensive
worse.
television show in history.
Yeah.
Why would you waste it on stupid Twitch when you could waste it on the event where the commercials cost so goddamn much?
Because it's corporate synergy, and you want to like give love to your thing. And then if you drop like, "Hey, exclusively on Twitch at halftime of this shitty Thursday Night Football game," see the first look at that thing, it's gonna make the numbers boost, and then at your upfronts can be like, "Hey, look!" It spikes your average. You're like, "Look how many viewers we get on Twitch for football."
Real quick, before we go into our last piece of news here, are either of you excited for this series? Hesitant for
yeah.
this series?
Yeah, I mean it's been a long time since
Absolutely.
we had a good Lord of the Rings movie. I don't count the Hobbit trilogy as good.
I love the Hobbit trilogy.
You know,
I
so-
watched it
but not
once,
because it's
never
good.
again.
It's just the first movie's decent, but then it really falls off after.
And honestly, you just gotta go in there for a good time,
What
then it's
what
great.
time is that?
just like Triple Frontier.
Oh my god.
See, I mean, I love the Hobbit book, and I pretend the movies do not exist. But I'm excited to see this, and it seems like this isn't going to be like a direct adaptation or remake of the original books or even the Hobbit. It's going to be more of the expanded stuff. So I think I'm excited to re-enter the universe and have more of those types of stories because it's such a huge world, and there's so much story to tell. There's so many details, and it's one that was a part of my childhood. So it's like it's nice to revisit.
I'm
that.
very excited for this Game of Thrones knockoff to come out, get us all hyped up and really excited,
And then last
go
season.
on for 8-9 seasons, and then just fall the fuck apart in the last season. And then all of us to sit here and be like, we kind of saw this coming.
There's no. I mean, if this is the most expensive show,
Yep.
they couldn't afford it to go 8-9 years, right?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of.
It'd be tough.
You know what? Jeff Bezos doesn't want to give out money for charities or anything like that. He is personally financing this whole thing.
Well, you know what I'm
He's
most
a
excited
huge
for?
Lord of the Rings nerd.
You know what I'm most excited for? It's to see the 2022 take on Lord of the Rings. So when the movies came out, obviously it came out mid
2001.
early
first movie.
2000s.
20
It was
years.
filmed in the
20
late
years ago?
90s. It was filmed in 99,
Boom.
2000.
So I want to
2
see
years.
what a 2021, 2022 retelling of this story looks like. Because I'll be so curious to see what it's been updated to for this audience, for the audience today.
I was
think
going to make a really
consume.
bad joke, but I'm going to save it until we're off air.
I think we're all collectively, the three of us, Lord of the Rings is a huge trilogy, had a huge influence on us.
Video games were great.
Video games are big. The movies are perfect movies.
Wow.
Really, I mean,
Wow.
I mean, at least for me as a child watching them, they were top of the list.
Real quick, this
Really
is the
high.
second time on this pod that Arjuna has referred to himself as a child. Arjuna, you are aware you're a fucking adult, right?
You're gonna be 30
I'm just
next
talking
year.
about when I was a child.
Uh-huh.
Because everything works in cycles, so it's like Lord of the Rings came out. I mean, the first one came out when I was literally 9 years old.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Now you're going to be 30.
I will be 29
No, 30 when it comes out.
Yeah, but I will be 29 in a few weeks, so it would be
Yeah, but you'll be 30.
20
when it
years
comes
But
out.
you'll be 30 when it comes out.
yeah, exactly. So what I'm
30.
saying is, it's just nice. It's
Does that freak you out?
yeah. No, not at all. I'm excited to just kind of reconsume and kind of like what you said, Christian, just media in a different time and in a different part of my life too.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I'm sure there will be some good things, some bad things.
That will be blood.
I think the one thing that has been confirmed, and again, maybe I'm making it up because I'm from the future, I believe it is going to be week to week. It's not a big, gigantic drop because Amazon Prime doesn't do the big
They
all
do the
dumps.
3 week to week.
Yeah.
Right? Because like I know for Invincible and for like
When's that coming back?
no, I don't think there's a date yet. Or like The Boys, I think that was like they do
Boys.
like 1 through 3 and then it's just week to week.
Damn.
Roy Kent and what's his face from The Boys are in a bar.
Billy Butcher.
Yeah. I'd pay to
Roy
watch
Kent.
that.
Roy easily.
You think they would beat he'd win?
I mean,
Butcher?
he wouldn't win, but that's who I'd root to win.
Yeah, he'd
Yeah.
win.
Oh wow.
He'd win our hearts.
Last piece of news here before we get out of here. The Hawkeye series has a premiere date, and that date, Arjuna, is
It's November 20 something.
24th.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, just after What If. Interesting.
Well, it's like a month plus after What If.
No, it's like
What If is 9 episodes, and if it's week to week, it would end October 6th.
Boom. Roasted.
And then there would be 6 weeks.
Oh
and
wait,
then
I for
Hawkeye.
some reason think it's coming out. I thought for a second this was September, not August.
Wow. You really are from the future.
Wow. Yeah. So
yeah, wow, that was
So what?
weird.
What if the executive producer recently said it's 9 weeks? So if it's a week to week show, what if? Which we don't know. That has not been confirmed. It would end on October 6th, and then this would be November 24th. So I think if I do the math, it's about 6 weeks.
So we'll have a 6-week period in which maybe another show will come out from another franchise on the Disney Plus network.
Or they're just giving time
X-Men?
for
Yes.
they're giving time for the Eternals, because that comes out I think early November.
Did you just say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No,
Eternals.
Oh my god! I was like, that's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Disney owns it.
Yep.
It's a Marvel movie. They're going to join the MCU.
I just had like a minor heart attack. I was like, I've missed so much.
That's what happens when you change your Twitter to just sports.
Yeah.
And that's going to do it for us here on Was It Good?
Wow.
As always, you can find us on various social channels like Twitter at Was It Good or Instagram at Was It Good BTM. Our pods are every Monday and Friday. We are shifting things up a little bit, and our Friday pods will be the only pod we do per week live on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/wasitgood. We also have our website, wasitgood.info. Our newsletter is coming shortly. And our next pod is going to actually be on a Saturday because we really want to confuse you. And it's going to be on Green Knight versus Troll Hunters, Rise of the Titans. New little format that
did
we're
it
trying
better?
out. So
Yeah, who did the Arthurian legend better? Spoiler alert.
We don't know because
Yes.
we haven't seen it. we don't know. 'cause we
And
haven't
with
seen
that,
it.
good day.
Good day.